Hey everyone, I wanted to hop on here and do part two kind of my little series here. If you didn't see part one, I am new to reselling. I've been reselling for about 6 months. I got into this to kind of explore what I wanted to do into retirement, etc., make more money, do something that I loved, etc. Um, I wanted to share kind of what I wish I would have done in the last 6 months that I didn't do, or what worked and I would not change again. So part one was about time and how much the time commitment is. So if you haven't seen that, go back and maybe watch that video. Part two, though, I want to talk about research. Okay, researching doing this, first of all. Okay, research kind of all the components, really see if you really want to do this. The time commitment, the money commitment, the storage commitment, the time commitment. I feel like there is a lot of research that needs to be done. Now, this isn't like researching an illness or buying a car. Okay, there's not a lot of great just concrete facts that are out there, because what works for me in Central Arkansas might not work for somebody that's in a different state or different country, or etc. But what I'm going to say to you is go to YouTube, go to Google, go to Facebook and Instagram, and find some content creators, or find some videos that walk you through the process pretty well and can kind of break it down. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Okay, do your research. With your research, that also includes researching what you want to sell. I knew that I was not an expert in any area, honestly. Everybody kind of tells you to just start selling stuff out of your house, and I had a lot of clothes to sell because I had lost some weight. So I'm selling my clothes, I'm selling my girls' clothes, selling my husband's clothes, and so I'm like, ooh, let's just keep doing clothes. Okay, that was just easy. That's what I had on hand. And I also liked kind of the vintage stuff. Okay, so I could pick that up at yard sales, flea markets, etc. I have learned, you can see that in video one, I'm not doing shoes and stuff anymore. So you kind of learn through the research and just the experience of doing it, what you like, what you don't like. But my big research with the clothing was trying to find brands that I had no idea even existed. Because in Central Arkansas and middle class, I don't have these big, huge name brand stores like they do in Dallas and New York and Orlando, Portland, stuff like that. Okay, so I don't even have access to those stores if I wanted to go pay retail for them, much less have a lot of stuff funneling into the thrift stores from those types of buyers. So, but whenever I travel, I do like to go to those areas. So I wanted to know those brands. I wanted to know those high-end brands. Okay, number one. Number two, when I realized that that's the stuff that really sells, better than kind of your everyday stuff, like even Ralph Lauren doesn't do great for me. Ralph Lauren, it's kind of a lower end, high end, but I've kind of switched over to more of the vintage stuff. So I started doing my research on that. A lot of stuff you can just kind of do a Google image or use Curio app, stuff like that, to take a picture, and it'll tell you all about them. And that's great. Okay. Again, go on YouTube, try to find people that are selling these things and look and see. They can give you the information about them. But I will warn you, be careful. There are sites that the content creators are completely satire. So they'll tell you like Beanie Babies are selling through the roof and just whatever. Okay. Those are absolute satire sites, and sometimes they're hard to pick out. So, and sometimes the information is really, really bad information. So just be aware that those kind of people are out there, and I think they're doing it as comedic relief. But if you're not careful and you really feel like you think it's true, and then you start buying stuff based on their advice, you're going to get screwed. Okay. So do your research. Go through eBay. Also has a feature where you can filter it to sold items. So if you want to put in like Cabbage Patch Kids, 1980s Cabbage Patch Kids, and then filter down to sold, recently sold, and you can see how many are listed currently and how much they're selling for and stuff like that. So it's called kind of the sell-through rate. You can kind of calculate the sell-through rate with all that, how many are listed versus how many you're selling. And that'll give you a good idea. Sometimes it's just based on the cost that you can purchase it for. If you can buy something for 50 cents and you can afford to sit on it for 3 months, do that. I mean, I feel like that is perfectly acceptable. But again, this kind of goes with having storage too. If you don't have the storage to do that, you can't do that. A lot of people do very, very well with inventory less than 500 items because they buy them real high quality items, or they know that they're really high in demand and they can sell them really, really quick. So that is the kind of research also that you need to do. If you know that you don't have a lot of time and you know that you don't have a lot of storage, and you found the research that there's these items on this list that you want to be on the lookout for, and when you find them, pick them up and only pick up those items, that's great. I am one of those that I'm like, inventory, inventory, inventory. And that I've kind of shot myself in the foot on that one. I do have a whole lot of inventory. And I know a lot of other sellers do too. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. But some do really, really well with very low inventories. So you research that and kind of see what you got going. Just do your research on the time, the commitment, the inventory space, how much it's going to cost to store all that stuff, and what's available in your area. Go do some walkthroughs of thrift stores. If you're doing retail arbitrage, go through the sale racks after the holidays or whatever. That's just kind of how you got to do your research. You can ask on some of these groups. Some of these sellers are so big that they will never respond. And that's not because they don't want to. It's just that they just don't have the time. But those really big sellers, they a lot of times have great YouTube videos and content videos. So go back and try to find theirs and see what they got. All right, if y'all have any questions about the research, just let me know. I'll do my best to answer any questions you got. Have a good night.